Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, to another cast of Tides Wrath Season 3, brought to you by Southern Cross Dota and, of course, TT Esports. This brought to you by Thermatech. Those sponsors, we appreciate the sponsorship for this event, for which otherwise we would not have any prizes. Or those would be minimal prizes. As you can see, the draft is already underway. TSG versus Solution, the only New Zealand team left in the pool from my understanding. So some buyers are coming out of your caster and hoping that Team Solution will make it through to the final four, final six. Let's see how it goes though, because they are going up against a veteran team, winners of last month's AWC Cup, TSG. Been around for some time, have had quite a strong presence. In fact, I have casted many games against pretty phenomenal teams, and they've gone toe to toe. They haven't always won those matches, but they've gone toe to toe. So I'm expecting this to be a very tough battle for Team Solution. Let's go into the draft and see what we have already. And on the side of TSG, they have banned out what is probably slightly being phased out in terms of meta. Out of Tide and Naga Siren straight into OD and picking up Lich, which seems to be the flavor of the week. Lich first pick.
10 seconds remaining.
So strong, and we see him quite regularly in the dual mid position. We don't know if this is what TSG are also going for. As yet, it's hard for me to pick because the meta shuffle changed everything up. Shout out to those guys currently sitting in the stream. I am Amiga Kai, and if you're not familiar with me, you can follow me on Twitch as well as Facebook. Team Solution, looking at their draft there, they've banned out, okay, all safe bans as well. They've banned out Darkseer as well as Batrider. Batrider, I have seen a little bit of place, even after the patch. The reduced range on the lasso does change things, but for those higher end players, you're blinking in anyway, so it's that nerf sort of negated a little bit from player skill. And TA again making a slight comeback after the patch. Just more heroes, more people seem to be picking her up, and utilizing her in the mid lane.
5 seconds remaining.
They've gone with Timbersaw and Visage. I'm not sure where Timbersaw's going to be sitting, either in the mid or in the solo lane, although there could be two solo lanes. Visage, though, still very strong. Still a wise pick up there. And I cannot fault either of these teams in terms of what they've picked up already, although seeming a little bit predictable out of Team Solution, they are going a little bit safe. And I think the next 3 picks will determine how this match actually goes, because their last 2 bans there being both Abaddon and a Troll Warlord. As you can see, I'm just stating the Captain Obvious. Rubik! Another safe pick, and of course that's going to allow them to counterpick slightly against any of those massive ults, such as Lich, as you see in the lineup. And TSG go for Windrunner. Again, I'm a little not perplexed, a little bit off, I should say, is the correct statement. A little bit off on to how they're going to lane this. It is early on. Tri-lane is not completely out the window, but some teams are still playing it, some aren't. And yeah, and again, Lich being picked up for their mid slot, possibly. It's real powerful now, real powerful. Why? You have to read the patch notes, and to be honest, I don't really see the change being massively significant, but he is being picked up a lot more than he was prior to the patch. And I guess that comes down to the nuances with the teams, how they have experimented with Lich post-patch or even in the patch client, just to see how it worked. And already about 4 or 5 different matches of casts since the patch, and they've all been first drop Lich for either of the teams, even at the high end. And why dual mid? I think it has to do with the slow, the fact that you can help dominate that mid position for the rune control. Although, again, it's anyone's guess as to what people are really looking to pick up, and Solution going with Puck for what is most undoubtedly their mid position, putting Timbersaw into the off lane. If this is indeed a traditional trialing. TSG picking up the lone druid, and they're picking up more solo power. To be honest, I don't see the synergy here for TSG. Perhaps I am
10 seconds
missing the
remaining.
obvious, but they've got a lone druid here for that push, for that power, potentially for jungle farm, as the jungler returns to some of the games, some of the teams' makeup in terms of how they potentially look to lane. Or this could be a solo lane druid, which tells me that Windrunner, one of those will be in the mid lane, the other in the off lane. But I guess that will be yet to be seen.
Dire team ban.
Now looking at the last bans into the last setup there, we see Nyx Assassin being banned out, and that's another wise, safe ban by Team Solution. TSG banning out their Troll Waller before. I feel that while Troll still is a viable hero, I don't think that really suits the makeup of Team Solution. When they banned it, there was I guess there was only a Visage and a Timbersaw, and they were perhaps afraid of the right-click potential. And Luna being banned out by TSG. As Solution are obviously looking to pick up a range carrier, and nonetheless, they seem to be lacking on the ground in carries. In fact, have none on the board so far. They have Puck.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick.
And I apologize for the interruption. Highly unprofessional break there.
5 seconds remaining.
So what has happened with TSG as well as Solution? The last lot's been picked up by Nightstalker, and there's going to be some dive-heavy ganks coming out of TSG. Long game farm picked up by Solution in the form of Spectre. Assuming I don't get the two names mixed up again, this should be an interesting match. Change my overlay this time for those fans that always seem to remember I forget the overlay change.
Prepare for battle.
And what are the lanes going to be? Nothing. Let's have a look. TSG is probably going to put. You would think they put Nightstalker mid with the Lich. We've seen that combo before in the mid lane. It works very strong. Works very well. The slowdown from the Lich, the fact that he gets XP when he denies, is what I'm being told is what the biggest change is. But they are making a strong presence into their own jungle to just make sure that it doesn't get blocked out. Of course, Radiant not really making a move on the Dire jungle, so that's a safe bet. It does look like Visage, Rubik in the bottom lane. Got it wrong straight away. Visage is the other hero. Spectre and Rubik with Visage in the bottom lane. Puck in the mid. And Timbersaw for the top lane. So they're going for Team Solution, going for a more standard, safer playstyle. Something that is from the last meta. That's something that will probably still carry them through. And whereas TSG look like they're going for something that's based on hero buff. Based on new meta potentially. And looking at the lanes at present, it does look like it's going to be a druid, a lone druid in the bottom lane with a Nightstalker and a tri-lane in the top. And Windrunner with Weaver. So this is going to be support Windrunner. And it is a dual mid. It is, as I expected, a Nightstalker and Lich in the mid lane. And we've seen this combo before. It does work very, very well at driving out that mid lane hero. It does work at helping... what's the right word I'm looking for? Helping to keep or out-harass this Puck from getting any runes as well. they do have to share that XP a little bit, but the fact that they slow down the puck is what they're actually looking to achieve, as opposed to what they're looking to achieve for themselves, more in terms of denial. In the bottom, Rubik being harassed by the bear. And I feel that this lone druid will have a reasonably good time in this bottom lane. He's got the threat of the pick and the slow coming out of Visage. A little bit of damage coming out of the Spectre, but not a tremendous amount at the early level. At level 1, level 2, level 3 is going to be a little bit minimal. So any kills here are going to have to be secured by the supports. And you can see here there's already an attempt. Does drive out the druid, but he manages to tank it out. The bear also almost... I know he did take down half of the Rubik's hit points, so it's not without his own bite whatsoever. Meanwhile, on the top, it's the battle of the dual offlaners. It's the solo offlaners. Weaver in the safe lane here, and going up against Timbersaw, as you can see, in the long lane by himself. Also, I forgot there's a windrunner there. Terrible miscast. So, how do I expect this to go? You know, reactive armor. That Timber Chain, that's going to give him a lot of flexibility. I do not expect this Timbersaw to go down without a fight. He should be able to tank and stay quite a tremendous amount of damage, a reasonable amount of damage. And as I say that, in the mid lane, there's a dive here coming out of Nightstalker. And thanks to some assistance from Lich, they do pick off that puck. That's going to hurt. That's going to smart. And this Nightstalker, let's have a quick look at the Nightstalker build. We've noticed that with the change to night and day, there's less reliance on the level 6 ult, I should say the ulti, not coming up to normally level 8 now, sometimes level 7, because of the frequency, the increased frequency of night. And while puck taking a lot of harassment from these heroes, and you can see here, Lich sitting on the high ground, ready to go in with the smoke potentially. And again, secure another kill, but is it under warding? No, it's not. So there's no idea, Puck has no idea that there's actually a Lich there on the high ground, and Lich comes around, Puck looks to escape, he's already used the orb. He just beats the feed and gets out of that situation. And back to the top lane, as I said before, I am expecting Timbersaw to tank out a substantial amount of the damage that does come his way, thanks to reactive armor. Even look near Worth now, see what the strength like. Oh wow, Radiant already going for the aggression. Smoking up for a rotation. This is their chance to get one up on the board and take down the Nightstalker. And they open up, in comes the pick. Does he throw him down lane? He does. He throws him into down the ramp, and he's being caught with a slow, nice, easy, secured kill. Picked up by Visage. So it's 1 for 1. Team Soul have a bag of tricks of their own, and of course I'm ready for the Kiwis. I'm interested to see how this Windrunner, how this Weaver expects to keep this Timbersaw from really staying in XP range or getting any kind of CS at all. Now, once he gets Whirling Death, he should be able to secure a little bit more CS. Presently, he's not doing so great. He's only got 3. Which you would say 4 minutes of the game is not ideal. In fact, it's pretty poor if you're looking at any kind of farm. But, you know, he has gone for a safer build with reactive armor. Meanwhile, on the bottom, illusions as well as rotation here. It looks like they could potentially get him slow, but there's going to be no follow through. Rubik is too far away for the pickup, and although his heaps of harassment coming out of Visage, they cannot seal the deal without that Rubik there. Mid again, Nightstalker leading the way in the mid, clearly winning this lane. Puck playing much more conservatively than previously. Kind of really forced into bottle crowing and of course hugging that tower for the fear of the Lich, who seems to be MIA. No, he's in the back lane looking to take. Oh, there's a dive here. There was an attempt by the Nightstalker to go in by himself. Didn't result in anything, but that's what Nightstalker does, especially when it's nighttime. He's gone for high levels of Void as opposed to high levels of Hunter, which is going to give him a lot of targetable damage 1 off target damage. I'm more of a fan of sort of going for the higher level Night Stalker just because it's passive and I'm not very good at the game. Again, another smoke up coming out, this time from the Dire team as they look to potentially get somebody in this tri-lane. And there is a bait here from the Druid. They have no idea that there's actually a smoked up teammates or supports there. Lich reveals himself, everybody reveals himself. Rubik picks up, but Rubik is the target! And he goes down to a power shot. As well as a right click. No, he went down to the right click out of Lich, but the power shot helped, of course. And Night Stalker picks up the regeneration room. He may be looking to come around. Yeah, he is looking to dive. If not the puck, he's looking for the courier. And of course, he had the opportunity to stay in there and potentially kill that puck. A bit of a slow reaction speed there coming out of Aphex. Not able to, doesn't have those cat-like reactions just yet. And a missed opportunity there by Rubik also. The aggression is starting to lift as both of these teams are now heading into the 7th minute. Level 5, level 6 across the board. Except for Windrunner, who manages to latch that very well done shackle shot. And another pickup for Lich. It's now 1-3 in the favor of TSG. It's by no means anywhere close to being a lead for anyone. If we look at the graphs just quickly, you can see that although it's 2,000 gold in TSG, there is a good chance here for Soul to come back, and same as XP. But the downward trend has begun. So now it's into Soul's hands to kind of turn this around. And I feel they need to do this by potentially mixing it up and look for much more aggression in terms of rotation. Because I feel that they, other than that rotation earlier on where they got Night Stalker, they kind of have backed off a little bit. Stayed in their lanes, and Lich is coming around. Ripik is there with a pickup. Visage comes out to slow. In comes Puck to silence, and in comes Spectre as well, who's really just staying in the back of the pack. It's all Puck at this stage. And there's a nice, beautiful two-man shackle. Excellent shackle that does help secure the kill against Puck, but that's 2 for 1, and now Soul, they're heading back towards positive territory as it's 3 for 4. It just seems that the shackles coming out of, is it Mile Zero? Mil Zero, Mile Zero. Landing them very well. In fact, almost perfectly. Good symphony of skill. Rubik goes for the pickup. In come Visage again. They're looking to nuke or at least drive him away. There's not enough damage. A bit of a late opportunity from the Spectral Dagger. But also he's sitting fairly low, so he has to be a bit careful. We can hear a bear ult. What's going on there? Pressure coming down the tower. This is a setup again. Lich waiting in the wings with the level 6 ult. Wants to catch a 3-man combo, and he's waiting for the creep wave. He wants to catch this badly, but there's just too many creeps around. They're not bunched up enough. They're not taking the bait in the form of the bear. And when I say bunched up, I mean bunched up with the creeps. They're not just heroes, because that's what you want. You just want heroes to be absorbing the full brunt of their damage. And here we go, onto Spectre. Here comes the dive. The team comes in. This is where you want the Lich ult to come through. They are pursuing. The Radiant looking to pick off somebody. Soul comes in with Puck, and now Lich is going to turn at any minute. The pickup from Rubik. They want to get him. They secure the kill. And I have no idea why there was no turn here, why there was no reaction TPs coming out of TSG. They are the favourites for this match. And I feel that was just a giveaway. But also a bit of control coming out of the Lich player, knowing that I might go down here, so perhaps I should save and hold that ult. Hold on to my precious. Nice and tangle under the tower. As reactionary TPs come in, as the bear gets big, and here comes the smoke gank. Will we see those impeccable shackle shots, which we've already seen a number of times? Knight comes through. Here comes the Lich ult. Nice! Does manage to fade it, but it's not enough. And that is just a cleanup there. It does not look good for Team Salt. It's 2 goes down for the Lich. There's a buyback from Puck and a TP in. The bear goes down. It's 2 for 2. And actually, Salt looking to turn this as Puck TP's in. They are looking to pursue. The Knight ult will run out shortly. And that came out slightly in favor of TSG, forcing a buyback from Puck. 2 for 2, but there's a buyback on one side and not on the other. And will the graphs reflect this? They do a little bit. Slowly but surely, Team Soul trying to climb back towards positive territory as they now lay siege, or minor siege, to this bottom tier 1 tower. And there are other TPs coming in. You can hear them in the background. Down comes the Shackle Shot and misses. Puck goes in, Silence comes out, and Nightstalker's in trouble. Visage picks up the nuke, and this may be a full-blown retreat. No, they're going to turn. They're going to stand their ground. The tower's gone, but it doesn't matter. They want to get Visage. Down comes the Shackle Shot. Power Shot through, and this is not an escape method here. TPing in the middle of the lane while taking lots of right-click. Wasting 135 gold and one carry for one carry.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This time, Soul coming out on top, having picked up their tower. Much needed gold, and that's going to help their graph swing in the direction they want it to go. Go north, baby. Go uptown. And now they're rotating into the middle. Wow, nice reactions there with the phase shift from Puck. But it looked like it was being dived there, but Rubik comes in to save that. Down comes the Dream Coil. More TPs coming in. Nightstalker's in trouble. Out comes Spectre's ult, and he is looking for the kill. Here comes the Spectral Dagger. There's 2 to choose from. There's no ults, and this does look like it could be a rout, but the tower does drive back their Radiant Assault. Timbersaw's not afraid, though. He's going to go for gold. But this could be dangerous. And he is forced the Timber Chain out, but Nightstalker is now going to take the initiative and look to pursue him. Covering off, is there... the rest of the Radiant team are not there. They are not helping out the Timbersaw. They are pulling back from the assault on the tier 1. And now the Lich ult is online, which just come online recently. So we could see another positive situation for their ult to be used. Silence comes through. And look out, there goes down the Lich. Puck is still alive thanks to the phase shift. They pick up 2 for none, and there's a DC. That was critical. Critical DC for TSG. Could have forced out that Lich ult. Could have resulted in a different... could have helped in creating a different result. And for the first time, the kills go in the favor of the Kiwi team. Let's have a look at items, because we have not looked at items or talked much about the net worth, though you can see it on your screen. Boot conversion. TSG has stronger boot conversion there. Picked up 2 treads and a phase boot, where you can see on your screen, Timbersaw is the only hero on their team who does have any kind of boot conversion. But Visage, I like what Visage is already toting. And in tow, very shortly, he will have a mechanism with that amulet. The medallion, I should say. I like that quite a lot. That gives them options not only to burn down those isolated heroes very quickly, but also to rotate and or look to do a Roshan once they've won a team engagement, such as now. Weaver looks like he's going for an early BKB or potentially a Desolator. Everyone else doesn't seem like they're particularly wealthy, but let's have a look at the gold item. Let's have a look at the graphs and see what this tells us. Yeah, so look, it's still in the favor of TSG. I know 2 heroes have just gone down, but it's still mildly in the favor of TSG. So will the gold graph. Oh, I'm not sure where it ends, because that's not that little pause game thing's in the way, but it's the gold. There's nothing in it. And I'm curious to see how the game's going to progress from here. Have a look at the builds. Nothing untoward on any of these heroes. Everyone knows how to play the game. No one going for any kind of radical build as far as I can tell. When I was looking earlier, I didn't see anything that I thought was questionable. You know what? Power shot. I like this build. Some people are going to tell me they don't like this build, but I really like this build with the aggression that can come out of power shot. The shackle shot, on the other hand, some people are going to tell me, you know, with the way that this winner runner is playing, the power shot is a good build. You know, for other players who may not have the fortuity or luck to land those shackle shots, perhaps they will go for a higher stun duration, because the next level is 3 seconds. That's an extra 0.75, so that's a reasonable amount. But let's have a look at the situation underground. Tactically, there is no one left alive in this skirmish here where they went to go dive for the Timbersaw. Timbersaw can't really assist them if they look to go and push or look for a team fight. But yeah, they are now in a position just to put some damage down on this tier 1 tower. The timers for these two heroes aren't particularly long, so they should be able to at least force out the glyph. No, the glyph has already been forced out. As I was saying, the glyph has already been forced out, so this tower in the mid lane could go down, or could at least take a lot of damage. There is going to be no power shots, no shackles with no mana in the Windrunner, so they have opportunity here. They of course don't know this. We could look to exchange towers though by pushing this top lane aggressively, using Zakuchi to come down here and block these creeps, then bouncing back to hit this tower. So they could look for a trade. Or we could see some TPs coming out of this Radiant team to defend this while also putting some damage down. Not securing a tower, but not losing one either. A net worth, well, the change, let's talk about that briefly. Free Farm Weaver at the top of the chart at 4,700 gold, as you can see before you, is followed by Visage. Again, I apologize for mixing up the hero's name. Spectre. Those who don't know me know I get those two heroes' names mixed up all the time when they're in the same match. I have no idea why. The Spectre, at 4,000 gold, on his heels, biting away is the Bear. Silla Bear at 3,900. Behind him is a number of heroes, and it's all very close. And if you look at that graph there, or the lineup there, you can see Nightstalker, he's fallen away from that top slot slightly, down into the mid pack, but that's only just now, thanks to all that gold and assist gold. And this pause has gone on for some time now. Internet seems to be the issue. Let's take a look at. We'll take over build gold. What do we expect to see here coming out from this engagement? We've already talked about what it is that the Radiant may look to do. The Dire, once they get back up, they still have the rest of the night to go. They have some ults online with this Lich. Chain Frost can come through when they need it. And we could see how it goes. Yeah, the captain's being summoned to the judicial court of the Southern Cross Dota admins to discuss when this is going to resume. We believe there's only a very short limited time which teams can actually pause for bans, and so for DCs. So we could expect to see a ruling. That wouldn't make for a very interesting game though, would it, guys? Would it indeed? I don't know. Mustn't. Who likes to see a game end prematurely, or at least be tipped because of DCs? Yeah, but they've got options. The Dire team here. 30 seconds they have to wait, and then they can just TP to wherever they want. And I'd be looking to maybe help secure this top lane, get a tower of your own while also defending this middle. So maybe a Night Stalker Lich TP to the top lane, help Weaver push this lane quickly, then a rotation back to mid to defend any assault which would happen on this mid lane tower. Everyone else looks to defend that. Bear, forgot about the bear. Still a bear pushing down the bottom tower, so that changes things slightly. We've got a tower being pushed in the top lane by Weaver, a tower being pushed on the bottom by the bear. Radiant, they've picked up 2 heroes, but they may lose 2 towers. And so this, net worth-wise, may actually work out for TSG, because the overall gold that they will get from pushing down 2 towers in exchange for 2 heroes, regardless of what 2 heroes they are, is likely to be more than the total sum of gold picked up here. Gonna do a shout out again, I guess. This is a long pause, so I will take the opportunity to play a video for those guys watching in the stream. Those in game will just have to listen to silence for a few seconds. The professional level of this game. Five minutes has been given to allow the TSG member to return to game. Otherwise it will be resumed, but know that TSG, they're happy to resume the game. It appease those 380 spectators. Those paying members that are here to be entertained. Solution not going to take advantage of that though by while I can read. And there seems to be some question as to whether or not the last remaining TSG will come back, which will be a blow, a huge blow for the team TSG. Yeah, here we go. It looks like we are going to resume the game. 4-man-5, and this is a terrible situation for TSG. They may have the macros to be able to do so. It appears that this player has dropped out. They are not coming back. Perhaps they are in one of those areas affected by fire.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And now it is looking like the reversal of fortunes for Team TSG. In this best of 3, they may be going down 1 already. Of course, you can micro heroes. You can still be effective from this position. And like I said, Bear pushing down the bottom. Weaver not looking the lane, but still putting some tower pressure on the top to get their top tower. They are looking to trade in the mid. Night Stalker is here. He gets trapped with the drink gold. Down comes the shackle shot and manages to miss with his power shot. There's a lift up there onto Night Stalker. He just tanks all the way through. That's during day. Unfortunately, just not enough damage. And then Lich, who is being microed, is there. Silence comes down onto Lich. He needs to crack that ult if they want to utilize him at all. But he goes down. 2 more heroes. Meanwhile, the tower right-clicking away onto the Spectre. And while the Bear is pushing through to the tier 2, got it under 50%. Meanwhile, the top goes down. So tower-wise, TSG, they aren't behind the game. They have picked up 2 out of 1 tiers themselves, and potentially half of 2 tier 2s in exchange for all 3 tier 1s. 2 tier 1s. So tower race being won by TSG, but they're losing the hero count. They're losing those team fights because they the need to micro a 4th hero. Recast 5th hero. Difficult nonetheless, but not without the ability of this team. They say go. And Lich is being microed by someone. And from this they can still win if they can get those kills, if they get enough feed onto Night Stalker, get out of BKB. It's going to be difficult to deal with. They're going to have no silence. They're going to have no slow, no pickup. Some damage coming at a Spectre, which I believe some of it is pure damage, so it will go through the BKB. Same as Timbersaw. So Timbersaw and Spectre proving to be the only ones that will really be a problem for this Night Stalker should he be able to pick up a BKB. And it looks like they are going for a 5 or 4 man. Driving out the Timbersaw, and they're just right-clicking their way to the tower. Out comes the stolen Lich ult. Where did that come from? Rubik and Visage devastating Team TSG. And the only players that get away are the Bear and Weaver. The Bear, of course, pushing the bottom lane, looking to race this game, and he is saving for their Radiance. And while he's on his own, he's going to be in trouble here. Bear needs to look out. TP's coming in. Rubik comes from the rotation through from the top mid lane area, and it does look bad for the Bear. All that tasty gold that he's been saving. He does at the last minute buy a Mithril Hammer and a Gloves of Haste to ensure that his gold is not completely depleted. Weaver laying again some more pressure down in the mid lane with his help of the excellent skill shot there. And Windrunner, mile 0. And I feel that all the momentum has completely shifted in the favor of Soul. And goes the blink with this with solution. Out comes the stolen shackle shot that secures too. Fade Bolt in to pick up. Here's Visage to follow through, but it did not transport that pickup. Lich's ult is online. He does get picked off though. And now you should hear the announcer. Axe is pleased. And what do the graphs say? The graphs are going to be bad. They're going to be really bad. No, the graphs are not that bad. Actually, it just says, in terms of gold, it is actually quite narrow. XP, however, that's a 3,500 swing in the favor of Soul. Pretty much from that DC to now, it's all north, almost 90 degrees. That's how much losing that player means to Team TSG. And look out, Spectre, you're gonna have to use that illusion transportation to get out of there. And he gave himself up to the Bear instead of the Weaver. Felt like look how low Weaver is. I feel as though if Spectre had stood his ground or her ground. Well, I can hear a shackle shot coming through. And in comes Night Stalker. Out comes the Bear ult. Mechanism comes through, and this is Saute out of the gates. Wow, they really want their Bear as well. Of course, why would you not want that crunchy bear steak on your plate? 300 gold. And all the dinner analogies come out at the appropriate time. But yes, hopefully the Lich player is not affected by the fires, and that's why he's not having to DC, escaping for his life. Yeah, I'm not sure what you do as TSG from here. You are a man down. 4v5. You have plenty of opportunity to soak up that XP and use that Lich's ult when you need to, but of course this does not, that's a poor substitute for a player. It makes pushing difficult. And comes the and a look at the I don't even know how to cast that. I apologize. That was terrible. Lich went down. Easy pickings for Team Soul because they know the reaction out of the player controlling that is not going to be high enough to be able to save two heroes. And they pick up a second as they lose puck. Now look to turn the tide and pick off Visage. They do pick off Visage, but they may also lose the rest of their team as the Bear goes down, as Nightstalker beats retreat. Weaver goes down. Nightstalker the only one getting away. It is now 20 to 10 in terms of killed. GG called. And you'd have to say that's a terrible start for TSG, the team that is obviously the favourite in this match. Well played, and apologies for the terrible, terrible casting of long pause. But I was Mika Kai, and we'll be back for game 2, maybe.